A few weeks ago, our worship ministry did a worship song survey, and we try to do this about once or twice a year, and we use the results from the survey to help shape how we prepare for our weekend services. And the results are in, and we're going to share them with you right now. Hey, it's Dave Dolphin at PracticalWorshipBlog.com, sharing ideas, tips, and practical advice for the everyday worship leader. And last week, I released a video walking you through how we use online surveys to help select the songs that we use on a Sunday morning. Today, I'm going to share with you the results. And because I also had a bunch of worship leaders from around the globe help test the survey before it went live to make sure that things like links worked and the questions made sense, I have a bunch of data from fellow worship leaders. So I thought it'd be fun to compare that with our congregation and their results. Of our congregation, we received 39 surveys and we averaged around 309 people in the auditorium on a typical Sunday. So that is a sample size of 13%. Now, since there's different people each Sunday, for every one person that misses on a Sunday, there's someone that is here on Sunday that maybe wasn't here the previous Sunday. That 300 number might be a little bit low. So maybe that sample size is around 10%, but 10% or greater is good with me. Now, I had 128 people from the Worship Leaders Plus Facebook group also take the survey, which at the moment has over 11,000 members to it. Any sample size that's over 100 is going to give you pretty accurate results. So let's look at what we got. So let's talk demographics first, because we need to understand who actually responded to this survey. We need to know who we're hearing from, and also see if it matches up with our understanding of the church. So looking at age here, we see a lot of people that fall in that 35 to 44 category, which that makes sense. We have a lot of people that are in that age range, a lot of people in their 30s that have very young children. We don't have a lot of 20-year-olds. But we do have a lot of people in their 30s, and we do have a good amount of people that are in their 40s and are in their 50s. So when I look at this particular graph and compare it to my understanding of our church and our congregation, they seem to line up. So that means that as I interpret this data, that this survey seems to be a good representation of our church. The next question I asked was, how long have you been a member here? And it looks like almost 75% of the people that took the survey have been members of the church for 2 or more years. And that's good to know, because these are people that get it. These are people that understand what we're trying to do, and just the things that you understand about our church, the good and the bad and the ugly, the things you understand about our church is because you've been there long enough. So these are people that get it and what we're trying to do. So that's good to know. Now here on gender, the people that took our survey, almost 75% of them are female. And I would say our church is probably split down the middle, male and female, 50-50. But that doesn't surprise me that you have a survey that most of your survey people that took it are women on social media. That makes sense. That just tells me that as I interpret this data, I have to run it through a little bit of a filter, knowing that the results are going to cater a little bit more towards women, both positively and negatively. This is a list of all the songs, 22 songs in all. These are all the songs that we tested, and these are the people that said they really enjoyed it. The green is people that said that I like it, but it's not my favorite. The ones that are in orange are ones that said that I used to like it, but I'm kind of tired of it. The red ones are people that never liked it, and then the purple ones are people that said that I've never heard the song. How I got this middle category here, this yellow, is that I added up all the blues and I added up all the greens. So if you said that I really liked it, or you said, I kind of liked it, I lumped you together and said that you liked it, and I made this yellow column here. And then I sorted it, and these top 10 songs right here would be what I consider our top 10 songs. And looking at the list here, these make sense. Like, these are the songs that I would say, if I could only pick 10 songs to do in our services, these are the ones that I would pick. There's not a lot of surprises here. Well, except What a Beautiful Name actually did surprise me that it's the number 2 song, because me personally, I was kind of getting tired of it. It was a good song for us, but I felt like it was time to put it on the shelf, and so I did. I kind of gave it a rest for a little bit. And then now knowing this, we just did a planning session of songs a few days ago. We made sure and worked it in, because apparently, we've got 85% of the people that say that they still connect with that song during our worship services. So we're going to keep on using it. Doing a survey like that, that's a good thing to know, because that's one thing I would have said, I think we're done with the song, but our congregation actually had a different thing in mind. The songs over here that are in these dark gray, these are what I call opener songs. The way we structure our services is that we have a song out of the gates that kind of is a high energy, fun, put energy in the room kind of a song. And then we do our welcome and announcements, and then we have our intentional time of worship. Not to say that the whole thing isn't worship, but that's kind of the turn of the service where we get more serious about it. And so the songs that I do in that first slot are different than the songs I would do in the other slots when we are intentionally trying to create an atmosphere of worship versus just having fun and putting energy in the room. So I don't expect these songs to test well. I don't expect them to be very high. They have a different purpose. Now, it does surprise me that Glorious Day is as high as it is. So that's good to know that I have a song that's in that opener position that I'm not expecting to be high in our top 10 list, but yet it's really close to it. So we can open up the service with a song like that, knowing that it really does connect with people. Now, if we go over here to the orange and we look at the top song that people say that they like, but they're getting tired of, is Good, Good Father. That doesn't surprise me. Also, 10,000 Reasons is another one that people say, yeah, it's a good song, but I might need a break from that. That doesn't surprise me. The number one song that people said they never really liked was Never Gonna Stop Singing by Jesus Culture. Again, one of those opener songs. It's a fun song. And even then, look, I mean, it is the top song that people said that they never liked, but it's only 18%. Our average of songs that people said that they never really liked is only 8%. That, I think, is good. That tells me that my gut is right. That, by and large, the songs that we are choosing, our people are connecting with. And even the songs over here where they say that they like them, but they're kind of getting tired of it, we're looking at anywhere from 14 to 17% on average of the songs that we're doing. That is relatively low. So again, our gut is lining up with the truth that when our gut says that we need to pull the song or it's time for something else, we're generally right. And, in terms of songs that people like, the lowest one that we had was 51%. So in worst case scenario, out of all the songs that are here, the worst we're doing is only half of the people say that they like it. That, I think, is doing really good. Now, these are the results that we got for each of the songs individually. And the results here on the left, these are all the people from our church that took the survey. But the results here on the right are from worship leaders and people that are in worship ministries. I was using them as guinea pigs to test it before I sent it out and made it live for my own people. But at the same time, I got all this data from worship leaders, and I thought it would be fun to kind of compare the two, the thoughts and the minds of someone in a worship ministry compared to the typical congregation member. And so, but here's what surprised me. Take a song like Glorious Day. A lot of our church enjoys that song. In the blue category, they said, I really enjoy singing it. You got 38%. You combine the blue and the green, the people that liked it, which would be that yellow column I showed you earlier. You've got 2/3 of the people saying that I like the song. But you compare that to the worship leaders, you've got 58% of worship leaders saying that they really like it. If you combine the blue and the green, you've got over 75% of the people that really like the song. Same thing over here on the song Great Are You, Lord. This was the number one song for our church. 64% of the people said they really enjoyed it. And then you've got, 85% of the people that said they liked that. But you compare that to the worship leaders and the people in worship ministry, 75% of them said I really liked it. Which, by the way, 2 people from the Worship Leaders Plus group said they had never heard the song Great Are You, Lord. We're going to have to start some kind of support group for that because that's just not acceptable. Third example, Oh Come to the Altar. Again, you've got 51% of the people of our church saying that they like the song. Compare that to 75% of the worship leaders that said they really like the song. My point here is that I expected these numbers to be the other way around because it seems like we worship leaders get tired of these songs a lot quicker. So I expected this to be the other way around, where this blue section was going to be less for the worship leaders than it was for the people in the congregation. But by and large, it was actually the other way around. Again, 2 people said they had never heard the song, Oh Come to the Altar. People, we have to fix this. I think the song that got the award for the most similar, meaning that the Worship Leaders Plus group, the worship leaders, they connected with it. It looked very similar to Trinity, was the What a Beautiful Name. This almost matches perfectly the worship leaders' opinions versus our church's opinion. Now let's take a song like Good Good Father over here. This was one where it was low on the list, but you still had 49% of our church that was still connecting with it. Compared to the worship leaders, you only have 33% of the people that are connecting with it. Here's an example where less of the worship leaders said they really liked it versus our church, but I expected to see this a whole lot more than I really did. Now, one of the most common questions that I get regarding this survey is how much stock I actually put into the results. How much do these results really affect the songs that we're going to select for Sunday morning, especially given the fact that in a couple of weeks, this data here is going to be outdated, but we probably won't do another survey for another 6 or 12 months. For me, the actual song results are good. I mean, we use them to tweak things here and there, but at the end of the day, you have to use your gut. And what this survey does best is it helps you to make sure that your gut check is on target. Like I mentioned, there was a couple of songs that surprised me a little bit, but overall, our gut check, and I say our because there's a team of people that helps us to select the songs, our gut check seems to be in line. If we had a bunch of songs come back and they said that people were tired of them, or a lot of the results came back and said that we never really liked the songs, then our gut check would be off. Our philosophy would need to be adjusted. In fact, the very first survey that I ever did showed me exactly that. We did a survey and it came back and showed that the philosophy was off kilter a little bit. So we made some adjustments. We did another survey about 6 or 9 months later, and it showed that the adjustments worked. Well, here at Practical Worship, we love sharing ideas and tips and practical advice for the everyday worship leader with videos just like this one. We have videos every single week, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. And for more great resources, check out practicalworshipblog.com.